Okay, I guess we're ready to get started. Is this picking up? Yeah, I see the meter going. Mike must be picking me up okay. Still poking a couple things here. I just realized I forgot to add connecting to the VC chat on Discord to my setup checklist. So I wasn't there in the earlier stream today, so nobody could join me. So most of the core developers have access to that in Discord if you join our Discord server then. So. Just realized on this screen that probably pops up behind the chat. Put this up in this corner, that might work better because the Discord chat's going to come up on the left if anybody comes in. And that's where I got the chat on the other screen anyway. So we're right where we left off before, and it's still running on our earlier stream today. What we are working on is, in case there's anybody on that wasn't here on the earlier stream, we're trying to get MariaDB support in Bugzilla, specifically because MariaDB was a fork of MySQL, and they used to be pretty interchangeable with each other, but they've started to diverge far enough that the drivers don't exactly play nice with each other anymore. And so we need to have explicit support for MariaDB to keep using it, at least with the newer versions of MariaDB. And the last thing we ran into before I ended stream earlier to stop for dinner is we have another module we didn't create yet that we apparently have to. So let's go find out what that is. And we're definitely going to have to rebuild no matter what happens, so I might as well shut down the Docker container. And then we can use the big window that we can see for editing. Let's take a look at the MySQL file, because that's what we're cloning everything from pretty much. What does this do? That's all our DB agnostic stuff, converting it to the DB specific stuff. Okay. And that's all going to be 100% compatible, so basically we just got to clone it. Or yeah, I don't know. I was going to say we could attempt to make it load this one instead, but better off with a new copy. And the mistake we made with the other package. Gotta make sure the package name gets changed. Comments I'm not too worried about yet. We have column and stuff. How much of that is going to be compatible? Well, it worked when we were pretending it was MySQL. The question is whether it's that's DBD specific or not. Suppose we can try it and see what happens. Okay. Oh, whoops. Need to tell it we're using MariaDB, because that'll do my SQL otherwise. We actually have our Docker test suite set up to just hang once it starts, because then we can go in the other window here and attach to it and run stuff manually, so we can play around and look at what's actually in the image when we get errors. So we have to wait for the Docker image to rebuild right now, since we just changed stuff. Something for next time. We'll have it install Vim in the Docker image. We won't commit that, but okay, we'll see how it goes. Still died, now what? Can't locate object method UTF-8 charset. Well, that should still be there. UTF-8 charset, okay. Wait. Via package MySQL. MariaDB is trying to load it. Okay. So we're running it in the wrong package somewhere. The Bugzilla one is lowercase. There we go. That would have been the issue. Waiting for the Docker container to exit so I can restart it to rebuild with that change. Failed when we did. Oh, they don't call it that. Is that the Red Hat package name or something? it'll find it with that. Or not. Do without it for now. While we're working on the same project, I only stopped because I had to go get dinner. And I had other family members that needed to eat dinner with me, so. I'm the one that cooks in my family, so I had to go cook it for them. Is the music too loud? It's hard to tell if you can hear me over it okay or not. It shouldn't be loud enough to be in the way anyway. Cool. Really? That doesn't make sense. Why would we not have Vim as a package? Well, there's no sudo either. Maybe we don't have apt. Okay. Oh well. Come back to that later. Let's test our fix first. We're still dying on that same error. So something somewhere is still calling it. Line 137. There's the one I was trying to install. Let me guess, Debian doesn't have it, just Ubuntu does. Because this is Ubuntu that the machine I just logged into to find out. Okay. Oh, what was that error message? Line 137. Okay. That does not look like what it just said in the error. package name is correct on this package. Yeah, that's the only place in code that mentions that. DB schema. Oh, that's why I'm looking at the wrong file. 137. Okay. That makes more sense now. That's a file I would expect to be something we didn't catch yet. There we are. There's our explicit listings for. Does Debian not have Vim? That seems weird. And I did give a couple of the core devs moderator privs in the Twitch chat, so if you see that sword in front of your name, that's why. I think it's Blowfish is the Debian that the Perl images we're using are based on. If I were setting up an image from scratch, I would have used Ubuntu 22 for it, but since we're using we're starting with upstream Perl images for our test environment. And the Perl images I'll use Debian. Oh, it's running. What am I doing? That's the wrong thing. I want the name of the test to run. We got further than we did before. Creating the database. You failed tests, and that's not even something I touched. What the heck? We didn't touch any extension code or any of those extensions. .10, aren't we supposed to be requiring 5.14 now? I wonder if that's related. Result fail. I don't know. So we run it again and see what happens. Oh, now it's going to fail because the database already exists. I forgot about that. Running these tests assumes that it's creating the database from scratch. It dumps a bunch of example database in the bunch of example data into the database, and then it chokes when that data is already there. Okay. What have we screwed with? Okay, that's okay. That's the one that we did, okay. Maybe there's something missing in the environment because we logged into bash directly instead of running it through the image. Oh, wait a minute. Let's kill out of this one other place I had to fix. We need that. And for that command in the Docker config gets completely ignored because the script to run the tests overrides it. So we had to change that in the script, not in the Docker compose file. So, oh, okay. I have light behind me. It's that time of day. The sun is just the right angle coming in the window. There's light on the green screen and it's bright enough it's not green anymore. It's still broken and it's something different. What the heck? Oh, wait. I know why. That's in here too. Because we got rid of this. It has to drop and restart the database too. Why UI3? Yeah. There's a bug somewhere to change that to jQuery or some other widget library, and everybody keeps passing it up because it's too complicated. Too much stuff embedded in it. Okay, I need to... Oh, whoops. An F, not a T. There we go. Now let's try this. Yes, it does. I would love to have a front-end dev tackle that. We have an ancient version of YUI in there, and I don't think YUI itself is even supported, is it? Didn't they discontinue it? Maybe that should be a paid project. So if we look at our funding over here, we got a little bit of money accumulating, so maybe that should be something we should put a goal towards, is getting enough money to pay somebody to replace YUI with jQuery. It would also be nice to hire somebody to be a developer regularly, so then I can do things that make money instead, or be paid to do this. Which side am I on? That side? Over there, up in that corner. Link up at the top of the screen. Our Docker image is ready. Should run the test directly this time. YUI is unmaintained since 2014. That's a long time ago. My green screen is starting to show through because of that sunlight shining in. You can see speckles of green on the window. So you can adjust that that got rid of some of it. The fun part of doing development when you get something and you got to test it and you got to sit back and wait for the tests to run to find out whether whatever you did fixed it or not. Oh, copying the QA extension, that's part of the tests. So that extension is not normally there, and that is probably why it hasn't been updated to match the stuff that good Perl doesn't like. So that's why that failed before, because we were running it multiple times inside the container without resetting everything. And it ran that test first and then went back and copied that extension in to run the other tests. Result pass, yay. So that's it on GitHub. Oh, that logging change can go back. That's in the Docker file, compose file, I mean. That's right here. Yep. That with the debug code. Where's that? That's on the script. Is that right there? We added this. That's it. Yeah, that's good. The bulk of the stuff being changed was in those two database files. Here we go. Commit messages aren't going to matter much at this point because they're all going to get merged into one commit when we finally merge into mainline anyway. Okay, and before we push, I need to rebuild all the images and push them. That's the one I want first. That's an interesting one to fail. Oh, okay. I thought the script tests for that, except the config thinks we're logged in, and my Docker desktop is logged in, isn't it supposed to? Oh, I know why. Because I'm SSH'd into this server, I'm not on the console. How do we deal with that? Let's see. I have something Docker related in the environment that's letting it find it. I don't see anything that looks obvious. It's hiding this from me, right? Yes, it is. Good. Oh, it's the keychain problem. So it is trying to use my Docker desktop login. It's complaining because it can't access that. Okay. I don't think that's the issue, but that was it. It worked. Okay. So you need a login in order to pull the Perl 5.38 image, huh? That's interesting. How's that going to affect people running this on their own? Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. Maybe it's because the config file said I was logged in, but it wasn't. Actually, we should find something else to do while it runs this, or I should do this later before I push. Because this does actually these images actually take a while to build, like 20 minutes. So we don't need to sit here and watch this. Okay. Now we have to find people to go approve some PRs so I can merge them. I know something we can do while we wait for those to build. That's sweet. Well, that's the other thing. Now that we have all of that done, we have a pull request for 5.2 that needs to duplicate all of that. So let's go work on 5.2 while we wait for those images to build. 5.2 isn't going to be so easy to test. We don't have the same type of Docker image test suite for that. Let's see, what branch is that on? Five, 1, 3, 5, 4, 2. Gonna do this to me, huh? We'll do a rebase. Oh yeah, we have build leftovers from Harmony. Okay, 5.2 is still doing the hacky thing where we had it use the MySQL driver under the hood. We just knew that we were talking to MariaDB. We're not blocking MySQL 8 anymore. I don't know how that got back in there. That must have been something from our branch that the rebase kept. Okay, the rest of that all looks good. Here comes the fun part. Actually have it capitalized. That goes away. MariaDB doesn't have it. And those, as we discussed before, we leave those alone because those are actually local config variables. We're going to